On February 25th of 1957, a boy's body was found wrapped in a blanket in a box. The discovery was made in the woods in Fox Chase, Philadelphia. An autopsy revealed that the boy passed away due to blunt force trauma. It was estimated that he was between 4 and 6 years old. He was described as a Caucasian boy that stood at 40 inches tall. He had surgical scars on his ankle and groin. There was also an L-shaped scar under his chin. It appeared as if he recently had a haircut, as there were some clumps of hair in the box. A young man made the discovery of the boy when he was checking his muskrat traps. He feared that the police would confiscate his traps, so he did not tell anyone what he had found. A few days later, another young man saw a rabbit running into the woods. He followed it and then came across the body of the boy. The young man was a student at LaSalle University in Philadelphia. He did not want to contact the police as he felt that he would be a suspect in the case. He did contact them, however, a day after he made the discovery. Investigators took fingerprints from the boy in the box. They believed that they would be able to identify him quickly, but that was not the case. They found no matches for the fingerprints, and no one came forward with any useful information. Close to the crime scene, a man's blue cap was found, as well as a child's scarf and a man's white handkerchief. All of these clues would lead nowhere. The case soon became known as the boy in the box and America's unknown child. It attracted a lot of media attention. Investigators also looked at the box for any clues. They discovered that it once contained a bassinet sold by J.C. Penney. Unfortunately, they were unable to find the owner of the box. Investigators also looked at the blanket that was wrapped around the boy in the box. It was brown and green with a Native American pattern. Unfortunately, looking into the origin of the blanket did not lead anywhere. As you can imagine, there were a lot of theories regarding this case throughout the years. For a long time, it was believed he was a Hungarian refugee. Others believed he was a boy who had been kidnapped outside a Long Island supermarket in 1955. A man by the name of Remington Bristow spent thousands of hours investigating this case. He found a foster home that was located approximately 1.5 miles from the site of the body. Remington attended an estate sale at the foster home. There, he found a bassinet similar to the one made by J.C. Penney. He also found blankets on a clothesline that were similar to the one in which the boy's body had been wrapped in. Remington believed that the boy belonged to the stepdaughter of the man who owned the foster home. Investigators did question the foster family, but were not able to find definite links between them and the boy in the box. In 2002, a woman who we only know as Martha, or M, came forward and told investigators an incredible story. She said that her mother purchased the boy from his biological parents in the summer of 1954. The boy was subjected to extreme physical abuse for 2.5 years. He was kept in the basement. There, he was forced to use the floor drain for a toilet and sleep in a makeshift bed in an old coal bin. One evening, at dinner, the boy vomited up his meal of baked beans and was given a severe beating. His head was slammed against the floor. The boy was then given a bath, during which he passed away. Martha's mother then cut the boy's long hair to conceal his identity. The two women then dumped his body in the Fox Chase area. The details that were given matched information known only to investigators. There were baked beans in the boy's stomach, and his fingers were water wrinkled. Investigators were unable to fully verify her story, and the case would remain cold for a long time. The boy in the box was buried at Ivy Hill Cemetery in Cedar Brook, Philadelphia. His headstone has the words, "America's Unknown Child" on it. People often decorate it with flowers and stuffed animals. The case has been featured on a lot of different shows, such as America's Most Wanted, Cold Case, CSI Crime Scene Investigation, and Law & Order Special Victims Unit. The Ghoul Boys also featured it on Season 2 of BuzzFeed Unsolved in 2017. All hail the Watcher. In 2016, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released a forensic facial reconstruction of the boy. In 2019, the boy's remains were exhumed. They were able to retrieve DNA that was sent to a lab in Europe. In 2021, it allowed them to create a DNA profile. A lot of DNA companies then worked to find family members of the boy using genetic genealogy so they could identify him. On November 30th of 2022, the Philadelphia Police Department announced that they had identified the child through the use of genetic testing and investigative genetic genealogy, and that they would provide a case update in the following week. Then, on December 8th of 2022, the child was publicly identified as Joseph Augustus Zarelli. He was born on January 13th of 1953. This means he was 4 years old when his body was discovered. At the press conference, police say they would not release the name of the boy's parents, who were responsible for what happened to him, as it's still an ongoing investigation. After help from genetic genealogy, authorities searched birth and adoption records to connect the boy to his relatives. Police Captain Jason Smith said, "We have our suspicions as to who may be responsible, but it would be irresponsible of me to share these suspicions as this remains an active and ongoing criminal investigation." He also added that Joseph Zarelli comes from a prominent family in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. Even though it hasn't been made public who Joseph's parents are, we know that they are not alive anymore. He has several siblings that are still alive, whose identities were not disclosed by the police. Anyone with information on this case is asked to contact the Philadelphia Police Department at this number. Authorities are offering a $20,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest and conviction in the case.